up Udemy, and of course there was courses on there. And we did a course with a Canadian who lives in, who's a multimillionaire, lives in America, who is a financial advisor. He's often on the news and he gets invited in to discuss financial bits and pieces. Not that we knew that at the time. Anyway, he decided, or his course was for beginners like us, because as I said, we knew nothing. We knew it was to do with Bitcoin, we knew it was to do with blockchain, but that's all we knew. We knew nothing more than that. So he explained what Bitcoin was, if you like, and he explained what the blockchain was. And basically a blockchain is just a ledger. It's a ledger that's transparent, that the money can't be shifted around without it being logged. So every time you move money, it's logged. It's logged who you pay it to and who receive who, why you, well, no, it doesn't log why you do it, just shows who you sent it to, not names, but numbers. So the next thing then he showed us was how to keep our money safe, because once you go into crypto, your financial affairs are down to you and no one else. No one else is going to intervene. So you have to be very careful. You have to do your due diligence. There's no point just diving in and thinking you can run with it. You can't. There has to be a lot of background work done. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, but it's well worth it once you do. And my husband loves to research things, so it was right up his alley. So we were away really. And then Chris explained to us about the wallets and the different types of wallets. And we decided to pick a cold wallet, and it comes to you with all these secret letters and bits and pieces that you have to take note of and then store in 3 or 4 different places that you can access it, because you're not going to be able to remember. I think they're 32 letters or something. So there's infinite amounts of the fraudsters would have to go through infinite amount of letters and numbers to try and work out what was in your account. So it's something that you need to look after. Put in a plastic wallet that you can keep away from water and into a heat resistant safe if you have one, because as I said, you're no longer involved with the banks, you're looking after your own money. And then you have exchanges. So the main exchanges are centralized, and so banks are centralized, and that means that all the banks know what's going on. And the same with crypto, it's centralized, but there is a lot of different exchanges that aren't centralized. So again, you have to sit and do your research on them and find out who owns them and if it's centralized or not centralized. So we use SwiftX and SwiftX, which is the Australian one. We also use the Kraken, Coinbase, which is I believe very centralized, and most people go to that because it's easy to use. And then we have our Cold Ledger, and they have their own exchange, which we use a lot, particularly now that most of the money is stored in the Cold Ledger. It's just you can put it on the exchanges, but it's not safe because it can be hacked and then they can steal the money. The other thing with crypto is it goes up and down like a seesaw. So you have to have nerves of steel. You have to have X amount of money that you can just put in there and just leave, because the elite, if you like, have been manipulating it to their own end, and they're trying to bring the banks on board because the banks are moving very slowly. They seem to believe that they will continue to hold the dominance that they've had and held over the world, and they don't want to lose their share of the profits by hanging on to our money. And they've debanked so many millionaires, it's not even funny. And you think, wow, that is such a strange thing to do, because they're so fearful of people taking the money from the banks. My own husband's been debanked by one of our banks, and yeah, it's just unbelievable what they get up to. So you have certain coins, as we were originally told a couple of years ago, that XRP was going to be big, XRP Ripple, and that's the one that's been in the news a lot because the Americans tried to stall it, and the elites, if you like, didn't want these coins coming in because they control the market with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin came into play because the elites wanted to be able to move their money around without having to pay the exorbitant fees that you pay to the banks. And then the villains got hold of it and realised that they could move assets and money around without anyone being able to pry in and look at it. So they're still in control and they're still manipulating the coins as we speak now, even though there's a lot of stuff going through the legal system. And each country has its own unique coin. So Japan, I think, was one of the first ones to come forward with their own coin and their own exchanges to look after their own people. Australia has got one, but they're still keeping it very quiet, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. They're all playing a very shifty game. And the banks are going down, and they know it. So they're only now starting to pull their finger out and realise they have to do something. So they'll be bringing in something called a stable coin. So each country will have a stable coin. And that means that your wages will be paid to a stable coin, and then you can use that to do your shopping or whatever else you need to do it with. So there's all these things. And XRP, I think we bought it for about $3, and it rose and fell and rose and fell. You need nerves of steel. You really need to just close it and walk away because it'll do your head in. And that's all because of the manipulation by the elites. And then you've got XLM, which is another one that's come through at the minute. It's very well priced to buy into it now, and Zetacoin and things like that. But again, you have to do your own due diligence. There's no point thinking that someone's going to come and rescue you, because they won't. And once you've put money out there, and if you don't look after it and safeguard it by putting in a cold wallet, you will lose it, because there is hackers. We know there's hackers in the banking system. Well, there's also hackers in the crypto system, and they're quite happy to go in and steal your money, and there's very little you can do about it once they've stolen it. So you must get your wallets in place. And as I said, the cold wallets are the best because they're the most secure. No one can get into it. As I said, the hackers, they can try, but they could be years and years before they get anywhere close to finding the 32 letters that are needed to get in there. So it's something they don't even bother doing because it's so difficult to do. I'm sure in time they'll find algorithms to be able to do that, but things will keep improving and updating. And as we know, we've now got the new quantum money financial system that's coming into play, and that will be coming online very soon. And that's a new way that the world will use the crypto. And the elites are losing their power now, and they will be pushed out of the market, and their funds will be taken from them. Most of them have stolen them anyway, from you and me. And that will change things considerably, and it'll come in with a spiritual aspect, and there will be a spiritual safeguard there so that the money can't be stolen, and like it has been up to now. It's like the banks, if you try and send money to a different country, you get stung with a huge fee, and then they hang on to it for a couple of days, and all the time they're using your money to make money, but you don't get it, they do. It's how they pay their big fat bonuses at the end of each year. So with crypto, there is still fees to pay when you buy money on the exchange, and when you sell money on the exchange, you have a fee, but you know what the fee is as you start. And you can also swap your coins. You don't have to sell them. So that's another way of dealing with your coins. If you can swap them out for other things rather than selling them. But as I said, the biggest thing is you must do your due diligence. You must learn what this system is, because this is the system of the future. With the quantum financial system that's coming in, that will be a lot easier. It will be a fairer system, and there won't be these certain bodies, let's say, or the elites, for want of a better word, that have all the money in the hands of a few people in the world, when the whole world is 8 billion of us, and then we've got a handful at the top that have all the money. That's not how we were supposed to be. We were supposed to have an abundant life here on earth and not have this struggle that we've had. So the elites have enslaved us all to the monetary system, their monetary system, for their own gain, not for our gain. Because if you notice, when you look at your life, you never really get anywhere. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you work, you never really seem to go forward. You just seem to be in this endless holding pattern. And just when you think you're starting to get ahead, you get hit with another big bill or some other new tax that they're bringing in to penalise us all for daring to live on this earth that was here for our journey. So that's just a very quick introduction to crypto. Like I said, if you best thing you can do, like we did, do a course. Like Udemy is so cheap and so easy to use, and it gives you overviews on what the course is going to teach you, so you know before you pay over any money, and it's minimal, it's not big money, and before you pay over any money you can see exactly what you're going to learn on the course, and you'll be astounded. We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe how simple of a method it was once you've taken the scariness, if you like, out of it, because as everything in our lives up to this point, we've always been fed the negative first, never the good side of it, you know. So and he took all that out of it, and the wallets are so easy to use, and it's definitely the way forward. So please look at it. Even if you only invest $100 and see what happens to it, you'll be amazed. And we're at a pinnacle point now, because the quantum monetary system is coming into play, and the elites are running out of steam. There's no more manipulation they can put on XRP, and the reason they've been doing that is to try and build up Bitcoin, and they're trying to make out that Bitcoin is the hottest thing to be involved with. It's not. It's a trap, and they've got their money in it, and they need to get their money back out if they're to go forward. So they've been building it up for the last 6 months, building, trying to make out it's the next best thing, and it's this, that, and the other. It's had its day, and it's now finished. And do not invest in it, whatever you do, because it's just, they're trying to pull in investors to keep it hyped so that they can sell high. And there's a fact they refer to the whales that work on the crypto, and when you start following crypto, you'll see that word coming up all the time. The whales are like the big insurance houses and the super funds and things like that, and they'll go in and they'll buy millions of cryptos at any one point, and then they'll go in and people will look at it because the price starts to rise, and then people will look and think, oh, the price is going up, I'll sell now. And of course they sell, and then they buy them cheap, and that's how it works. You need to be able to invest some money in it and just leave it, because it's going to take off very soon. We're at a crucial point now. It's been going on for a couple of years, but we are so close to it exploding, and now's the time to make money. So please look at it and learn as much as you can. Do your due diligence. Rely on yourself, rely on your own intuition, and know that you can do this. We were sent here to live our life in abundance with happiness and joy, and now's the time to reap that reward and start making a little bit of money to set yourselves up. And I don't know what else to say. I think I've sort of covered everything: the exchanges, the wallets, the different coins. And it's like there's so many coins out there, and some of them are going like for 0.002 cents or something, which sounds ridiculous. But if you buy a couple of thousand of them for $100, you're well in, because when it rises, but you still need to do your research on the coin to see who owns it, where it's come from, if it's backed by any money. Bitcoin isn't backed by money. Bitcoin is backed. It's like the American dollar is backed by fresh air. And it'll all come down like a pack of cards very shortly. So you have to do your due diligence. It's extremely important. And for the tax system, they've simplified it because it's all computerized. and it shows all your payments in and out, so it makes it very easy to do your tax. So don't be worried about trying to track your payments. They're there. It's like I said, the blockchain is just a huge ledger, and it logs everything because it's a computer, which makes life very easy. Gone are the days of receipts because it's all there on the blockchain. And that's about it. That's about as much as I can tell you. Just as I said, do your due diligence, take a course. Don't be pulled in by these guys that offer to make the money for you, because they won't. They can't. And don't ever, ever, ever give your Cold Wallet key to anyone. That's yours. It's sacred. You look after that. If you trust your partner, you tell your partner, and the two you go together. You never give it to anyone, because they can go straight in and steal all your money. And you can, the way crypto is now, you can actually put your assets into your wallets, which I think is fantastic. So houses and things like that, you can put in there, cars, whatever you want. So it's a real safeguard. No one can touch them. It's a bit like the trust system that you had to get set up by an accountant, and then you had to have an accountant involved in it. I never liked that. Why would you do that? Have someone else involved in your money? Anyway, that's another story. So please, people, go forth, have a look, and see what you can learn, and see what money you can make, and do your due diligence, do plenty of research. It's not hard to research because it's all computerized. It's very easy to do, and enjoy. And that's all I can say. So this is the future, I'm afraid. So the banks are going down whether they like it or not, and you may as well be prepared now as having to learn all about it, at a later date. Do it now, especially now as because of the elites manipulating the figures. It's a good time to still buy in without, and being able to make some money once things starts to move, and it's going to be very soon. That's all I have for you today. So thank you for listening, and if you need any other question that I might be able to help with you can give me an email. But failing that, enjoy, make lots of money, and go and spend it and enjoy life, because that's what life's all about. Thank you.